The Battle of Bosworth Field, a turning point in English history. The Battle of Bosworth Field stands as one of the most pivotal moments in English and Welsh history, marking the dramatic conclusion to the 15th century Wars of the Roses. In early August 1485, Henry Tudor, aspiring Lancastrian claimant to the throne, sailed across the English Channel from France to the Welsh coast. He arrived with a modest force of approximately 2,000 troops, yet his presence would soon ignite a larger national confrontation. As Henry advanced through the Welsh countryside, his support steadily grew. By the time his forces crossed the border into Shrewsbury, the Lancastrian army had more than doubled in size, bolstered by allies drawn to his cause. Upon learning of Henry's landing, King Richard III mobilized his Yorkist army from Leicester. Commanding nearly 10,000 soldiers, Richard strategically positioned his men on elevated terrain just south of Market Bosworth in Leicestershire, preparing for what would become his final battle. On a neighboring hill, Thomas, Lord Stanley, Henry's stepfather, commanded a formidable private force of roughly 6,000 men. Though nominally neutral at the outset, Stanley's army held the power to decisively shift the balance of power. As battle erupted, the tide of conflict shifted back and forth with brutal intensity. Ultimately, King Richard, determined to end the clash in one bold stroke, launched a direct cavalry charge against Henry Tudor himself. As the battle reached its climax, Richard III became isolated from the bulk of his forces. Seizing the moment, Lord Stanley committed his troops to the fight, decisively siding with his stepson, Henry Tudor. Amid the chaos, Richard's horse became mired in boggy ground. Undeterred, the king continued to fight on foot with remarkable determination. However, he was eventually surrounded and struck down in the melee. With Richard's death, the Plantagenet era came to a dramatic and violent end. He was the last English monarch to be killed in battle. Witnessing their king's downfall, the Yorkist forces broke ranks and fled the field in disarray. Richard's crown was recovered and presented to Henry Tudor, who was proclaimed King Henry VII on a nearby hill that would later be named Crown Hill. This moment marked the founding of the Tudor dynasty, which would go on to shape English history for the next century. Richard III's remains were buried without ceremony in a modest grave at Greyfriars Church in Leicester. Over time, the exact location of his burial was lost, until a remarkable archaeological discovery in September 2012 unearthed his skeleton beneath a modern-day car park, finally bringing closure to a centuries-old mystery. Key facts: the Battle of Bosworth Field. Date: August 22, 1485. Conflict: part of the Wars of the Roses, a dynastic civil war between the houses of Lancaster and York. Location: near Market Bosworth, Leicestershire, England. Belligerents: Lancastrians, led by Henry Tudor. Yorkists, commanded by King Richard III of England. Stanley family, led by Thomas Stanley, remained neutral until the decisive moment. Outcome: victors, Lancastrians. The battle ended with the death of Richard III, the last Plantagenet king, and the ascension of Henry VII, founding the Tudor dynasty. Forces engaged: Lancastrian army, approximately 5,000. Yorkist army, around 10,000. Stanley's forces, estimated 6,000. Casualties: Lancastrians, roughly 100. Yorkists, estimated 1,000. Notable commanders: King Richard III, Yorkists; Henry Tudor, Lancastrians; Thomas Stanley, Stanley family. Other major battles in the Wars of the Roses. First Battle of St. Albans, May 22, 1455. Battle of Blore Heath, September 23, 1459. Battle of Northampton, July 10, 1460. Second Battle of St. Albans, February 17, 1461. Battle of Towton, March 29, 1461. Battle of Barnet, April 14, 1471. Battle of Tewkesbury, May 4, 1471. Battle of Bosworth Field, August 22, 1485. Battle of Stoke Field, June 16, 1487. Key facts: the Battle of Bosworth Field. Date: August 22nd, 1485. Conflict: part of the Wars of the Roses, a dynastic struggle between the House of Lancaster and the House of York. Location: near Market Bosworth, Leicestershire, England. Belligerents: Lancastrians, led by Henry Tudor. Yorkists, commanded by King Richard III. Stanley family, under Thomas Stanley, initially neutral before siding with the Lancastrians. Outcome: victors, Lancastrians. The battle marked the fall of Richard III, the last English king to die in combat, and the rise of Henry VII, founder of the Tudor dynasty. Troop numbers: Lancastrian army, 5,000 soldiers. Yorkist army, 10,000 soldiers. Stanley forces, 6,000 soldiers. Casualties: Lancastrians, approximately 100. Yorkists, estimated 1,000. Commanders: King Richard III, Yorkists. Henry Tudor, Lancastrians. Thomas Stanley, Stanley family. More key battles of the Wars of the Roses. First Battle of St. Albans, May 22nd, 1455. Battle of Blore Heath, September 23rd, 1459. Battle of Northampton, July 10th, 1460. Second Battle of St. Albans, February 17th, 1461. Battle of Towton, March 29th, 1461. Battle of Barnet, April 14th, 1471. Battle of Tewkesbury, May 4th, 1471. Battle of Bosworth Field, August 22nd, 1485. Battle of Stoke Field, June 16th, 1487. Enjoyed learning about the Battle of Bosworth Field? Like this video to support historical storytelling. Subscribe to explore more turning points in British history. Comment below with the next battle you'd like us to cover. Watch our full series on the Wars of the Roses for deeper insights into England's bloody dynastic feud. Stay curious and stay tuned for more history that shaped the world.